So this video is for lash and brow tinting. So we're going to start the video as if we have just arrived to work. So the first thing that we're going to do when we get to work always is wash our hands. So we're going to go to the sink and we're going to wet our hands and we're going to find that liquid hand soap and we're going to wash our hands down to our wrists and we're going to wash the back of our hands down to our wrists. We're going to wash our fingers and we're going to wash the backs of our fingers. We're going to wash between our fingers. We're going to wash our fingertips and our nails. We're going to wash our thumbs, of course, and we're going to wash our wrists. We're going to do all of that interlocking wash for a minimum of 20 to 30 seconds, and then we're going to give everything a thorough, proper rinse under the water. When we feel like it's perfectly clean, we're going to grab some disposable paper towels or a clean towel, and we're going to turn the faucet off, dry your hands with the towels, throw it in the trash can, or put it in a closed container until time for laundry, and then get your hand sanitizer that is 70% ethyl alcohol, and you're going to make sure that you finish with your hand sanitizer. And then you're going to be ready to set up for your client for the brow and lash tinting. So what you want to do is get your room and setup ready first. So we're going to review what we need to do to prepare our area. So you want to make sure that you disinfect your workstation, your bed, and your equipment using a disinfectant wipe and, of course, following manufacturer's instructions. You're going to check your equipment to ensure that all devices are in safe working order and plugged into a working receptacle. You'll gather clean supplies needed for the lash and brow tint service, storing in a clean closed container. You'll dispense products needed for the service according to the client's desired shade for brows and lashes. You'll mix according to manufacturer's directions. You'll prepare disposable portion cups for each product with a portion of the product by opening the top of the container and ensuring the tip of the nozzle does not come into contact with the disposable portion cup tray, or remove the product with a disinfected or clean single-use spatula. You'll close the lid to the product and set the portion cup tray on the tray. You'll drape your facial bed using one fitted sheet, one flat sheet, and 3 towels. You'll place clean laundered sheets down on the disinfected bed, placing a towel horizontally at the head of the bed. You'll lay a hairnet and headband on top of the first towel along with a rolled towel to support the head and neck of the client, and then you'll save the third towel to lay across the client's décolleté. Or you can use disposable table paper to drape the bed. So just reviewing, we've set up our station and facial bed, and then of course we have to set up our tray, which I've gone ahead and done, so I'm going to show you what I have here on my tray for this service. So of course I have some 2x2s, I have some cotton rounds and some 4x4s if I need them. I have disposable eye pads, I have mascara wands, I have gloves because we always wear gloves for this service. I have makeup remover. I have the like the barrier cream, the protection, like a petroleum jelly that you would be putting around the brow and the eye area to protect. Of course, I have color cream and then developer that we're going to be mixing based on her preferences as far as her likes and dislikes go, once I know what color she's looking for. And so all of it. Oh, and I have an implement to apply the color to the brow. So I've got that ready to go. Wooden sticked Q-tips if I need those to apply the cream or protection cream around the brow and the eye. So I would be going at this point to meet my client, and just note that I will be approaching the client with perfectly clean hands, and then I will be washing my hands again before the service. I've already washed them to set up the station, my facial bed, and just wanted you to know that that is what has happened. So let's go to meet and greet the client. So we're going to greet our client and escort them to the work area and determine the client's preferences. We're going to assess the client's needs, and we'll assess the client's skin by performing a skin analysis to ensure that there is no inflamed, infected, broken, raised, or swollen skin in the area to be worked on, or an open wound or sore in the area to be worked on, infection or infestation like lice, to prevent from safely performing the service. I'll assess the client's consultation form for any medications and products used within the last 72 hours, and I'll consult on any known allergies. I'll consult with the client on any facial surgeries within the last 3 months, and if the client's under a physician's care. I'll assess if the client is prone to cold sores or fever blisters. I'll assess if the client has used exfoliating or lightening agents within the last 72 hours, like alpha hydroxy acids, beta hydroxy acids, hydroquinone, etc. I'll assess facial injections within the last 3 weeks, like Botox or hyaluronic fillers. If the client is free from any of the contraindications that I've just stated, we can move forward with the procedure. So my client, thankfully, is good to go. So we are going to be able to move forward with the procedure. So what we need to do now is get our client comfortable, and then we're going to wash our hands. So our client she doesn't have to undress or do anything like that. She's just gotten down on the facial bed. We are taking our rolled towel now. We're going to make sure it's nice and tight here. And we're going to place it under our client's head and neck for more support. I'm going to use a hairnet to keep her hair out of her face. It seems to work better with my mannequin to use a hairnet. And then I'm going to use another towel to drape. And I'm going to fully drape because I don't want to get any tint on her clothing or skin. Just covering all of that up there. And so she would be ready now for the service. So what we want to do is I'm going to go ahead and put some eye makeup remover pads on her eyes after I wash my hands. And then I'm going to get her tint developing. So what happens now is I'm going to go right over to the sink and I'm going to wash my hands. So I'm wetting my hands. I'm finding that liquid hand soap. I'm washing my hands together down to the wrists, and I'm washing the back of the hands down to the wrists. I'm going to wash my fingers, and I'm going to wash the backs of my fingers. I'm going to wash my fingertips and nails. I'm going to wash between my fingers. I'm going to wash between my fingers and my thumbs. I'm going to wash my thumbs. And of course, I'm going to wash my wrists. I'm going to do all of that interlocking cleanse for a minimum of 20 to 30 seconds. And then I'm going to thoroughly rinse everything at the sink. I'll find a disposable paper towel or towel to turn the faucet off. I'll dry everything off, and I'm going to throw the towels in the trash can. If I happen to use a clean towel, I'm going to be putting that in now. It's now dirty, into a closed container until it's time for laundry. And then I'm going to get my hand sanitizer, 70% ethyl alcohol, and I'm going to sanitize my hands. Once my hands are nice and sanitized and dry, I'm going to put my disposable gloves on so we can get started with the process. And I am going to go ahead and put my makeup remover pads on her eyes. Then I'm going to mix, and I'm going to remove her brow color while these makeup pads are on her eyes. So you're going to follow your manufacturer's directions based on your tint. But for me today, I'm going to say that I have 3/4 of an inch of my color cream to 2 to 4 drops of the developer. So I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4. I put in here. And then I'm going to mix it all together. And this client wanted black. She's a little bit more of a glamour girl, so she wanted to go for the full bold color on the lashes and the brows, and I love that. Going into fall, she really wants it to be deep and dark. I love that. So it's going to take about 3 to 4 minutes to process. So in the meantime, I'm going to get her nice and clean. So while that's processing, I'm going to go ahead and take off her eyebrow color or makeup. Just make sure that area is really, really clean. And I'm going to go in the direction of the hair growth while I'm removing it. And then I'm going to go back against the direction of the hair growth. And I'm making sure that any makeup that's on the brow or oil or, moisturizer, eye cream, anything like that, I'm removing completely. So I'm going to go to the other brow now, and I'm starting in the direction of the hair growth, and then I'm going to come back in that opposite direction. And now I'm going to remove the eye makeup. So she's a little bit more glamorous, so we do have to take a second here to get it all off. And sometimes you just have to do that. You just have to see that you get it all. It's okay to do what you got to do. This is your client, and you're taking good care of them. And now I'm just going to make sure that area is nice and dry. Thing looks really nice. So what we want to do now is we want to put on that barrier cream so that we protect around her eye area and around her eyebrow. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to apply some of that special cream that's going to keep everything nice and safe around the eyes. And of course, everything that we do, we're avoiding the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. That should go without being said. And then I'm going to go around her brow and frame around her brow so that we don't get any of the tint where we don't want it. So where she does not have brow hair, I do not want any tint to go. Very careful here. And that looks great. So now I'm going to place my eye pads on so that I can really make sure that I am keeping that eye area safe, safe, safe. And you're going to go up underneath the bottom lashes because we're going to be tinting the top lashes and the bottom lashes. So just take your time. Just trying to get as close to that underneath on that bottom lash as I can. And while we've been doing all of this, that brow tint color's been processing. So it's like perfect right. I mean, brow and lash tint color's been processing. So it's really, really good right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the bottom lashes on both eyes. We need her to look up, and then you get that done very quickly, and then she closes her eyes for the rest of the service. Obviously, she can have her eyes closed right now, but once you get that tint on one side, and she would have to close, she happens to close her eyes, you won't be able to get her, she can't open them back up. So let's just make sure that you're really clear with your client on that you're going to do both bottoms first. So I'm going to get my tint ready. It's ready for those bottom lashes, and I'm going to say, Sue, I want you to look up, and I'm going to get both sides of your eyes on the bottom real quickly. And she looks up, and you say, you apply that tint to this side on the bottom. Okay, keep looking up. I'm going to the other eye on the bottom. And done. Go ahead and close. And you've gotten the bottoms done, and now you're going to get yourself some tint so that you can put it on the top lashes. So you're going to take a little time here, make sure that you evenly coat those lashes. And just working one at a time. Especially because she's that glamour girl, she wants the black. So you want to make sure you get it everywhere. And then you're going to go back in. I'm going to go back in and get some more tint before I go to the other side. Work on that one. Just taking my time right now because I don't want her to have to come back and get it done all over again, because the tint doesn't last, or it wasn't evenly put on. So I'm working my other side now. Just giving it really, really even as best as I can. And go back and just get a little bit more for this side. And then I'm going to give it a double check as I'm finishing this side. I'm going to go back and I'm going to look. Oh, I think I want to comb through a little bit more on over here. And over here just a teensy bit more. And it looks good. So you're gonna, of course, follow your manufacturer's instructions upon how long you leave the lash tint on. We're gonna say ours is 10 minutes, but this is a video. So for sake of the video, we are not gonna sit here for 10 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and proceed, and we're gonna remove that lash tint. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna go through a pass dry real quick, and I'm just gonna pat it on those lashes nice and dry. Pressing, press, press. Gentle, very gentle. And then I'm going to go ahead and slide that iPad out. And then I'm going to take we're going to toss that, take one with a little bit of water. Avoiding that eye. Beautiful. And then I'm going to go to the other eye, and I'm going to do a nice little dry press first. Gently. Slide the iPad out. We're going to toss it, and we are going to go in with Once again, a very gentle remove. Nice. And I find that sometimes I like to have like a clean extra mascara wand just to comb through the lash available and nearby. And now we're going to move forward to the brow. So the brow's been protected and mapped out. What we want to do is go ahead and apply this tint to the brow. And for this, I'm actually going to use an implement and use some tint on an implement. So what I'm going to do is apply the tint to the brow in the direction of the hair growth to start. And I'm working and now against the direction because I want to get the tint all the way down to the root of that brow hair. And I moved on to the other brow. Once again, I'm working in the direction of the hair growth to start. And then I'm going to go in the opposite direction with my application. And for this, you see here that you would just leave it as needed. And following the manufacturer's instructions for this as well. So for brows, it's a little bit less amount of time. 3 minutes is going to be what we're saying our application rest time for that brow tint to stay on the brow. So for the sake of the video, we're going to go ahead and move on. And I'm now able to remove the brow tint. So we're going to pretend like 3 minutes has elapsed, and I'm going to gently, very gently, remove in the direction of the hair growth. And I'm starting in the direction of the hair growth. And then I'm going to work my way back. And this one did not take the way I wanted it to. It's not covering some of those stubborn grays. So I know that I need to leave this one on longer as well. So Sue, I'm going to go back and put this tint on this side because it just did not cover everything the way we wanted to. So we're going to leave that brow on for a minute. So we're going to go back and get some more protective cream and map it out. And that happens sometimes with those stubborn grays. They do not want to cooperate. But the last thing that I want to do is send Sue home and then her call and have to come back tomorrow to get her brow tint redone. So I'm going to fix it while she's here. Grabbing my implement and the tint. Once again, I'm going to apply it in the direction of the hair growth. And then I'm going to go back against the grain of the hair, growth of the hair. And I'm not messing around this time. I'm going to get that gray covered. So Sue, we're going to leave this on a total of 2 more minutes because that one's been on for a minute. And I'm definitely going to take this one off first on the left because it's been there for a minute and I know that. So I'm going to want to get it off first. So we're going to pretend like that additional 2 minutes has passed. So now I'm going to go ahead and get this side off first, the one that's been on there without any kind of removal. And I'm going to go ahead and voiding the eyebrow area, gently remove it. Going back up against. Oh yeah, that looks, that's what she wanted. So it might have taken us a minute, but we got there. Oh yeah, so you're gonna really be happy about this. This right here. Perfect choice with the black for you. It looks great and glamorous. So good. Yay. So your client will be thrilled. So you're going to show her in the mirror how amazing she looks, because she does. And then you are going to take off your gloves because you're finished with this. And you can toss them in the trash. And you're going to escort your client out. The good thing is she doesn't have, basically you're just going to be taking off her drape, headband, hairnet, whatever you have on her. And you'll get her out to where she's going to check out. And then you can go over your aftercare and your maintenance for your client. And then you need to go back to your room because you have to get ready for your next client. So you're going to make sure she knows what to do when she checks out, if there's anything that she needs to avoid doing so the tint doesn't go away quickly. And then you're going to get her rebooked for her follow-up for however long she wants to come back in because she loves the service so much. You'll also give her a service menu. You'll be good to go. And you know, you've got another client back to back. So you got to get back into that room. What you're going to do is you're going to discard any single use items that you haven't already, those little disposable cups, etc., that you've prepared. You're going to find any implements that you've used. You're going to put them in a closed container labeled to be disinfected. And you're going to take all of your linens, your towels, etc., and you're going to place them in a closed container until it's time for laundry. Then you're going to get a proper cleaning agent. Read the manufacturer's directions, follow the manufacturer's directions for mixing and usage, and then of course wiping down your workstation and area with a cleaning solution to remove debris. Then you're going to identify a disinfectant that is bactericidal, virucidal, fungicidal, and EPA approved for use in a salon setting. You'll have to find a pair of disposable gloves and put those back on in order to follow manufacturer's directions for mixing and usage. Mixing and or using appropriate aerosol disinfectant, and then disinfect electrical equipment stored in a clean area separate from other implements. And then to finish up, you need to wash your hands. So you're going to get to the sink and wet your hands, find that liquid hand soap and wash your hands down to your wrist. You're going to wash the back of your hands down to your wrist. You're going to wash your fingers, and you're going to wash the backs of your fingers. You're going to wash between your fingers. You're going to wash your fingertips and your nails, between your fingers and your thumb. You're going to wash your thumbs. You're going to wash your wrist. You're going to do all of that great washing for 20 to 30 second minimum, and then thoroughly rinse everything underneath the water. When you feel like you've done that properly, you can reach for disposable paper towels to turn your faucet off, dry everything off completely, toss those paper towels in the trash, and then get your 70% ethyl alcohol hand sanitizer to sanitize your hands. And then you will be officially ready to move forward to set up for your next appointment, a next client coming in. So that concludes your video for brow and lash tinting.